concerns right now as people are now pointing accusation, looking at concern of about appointments. How the President Tinubu is running the affairs of the country. Some have argued that there's a need to address systemic abuse and ineffective implementation of the federal character that has been violated, that the principle has been violated, and there's a need for a discussion towards paying attention to how the president is constituting his cabinet, how the president is making appointment. Is it reflecting the federal character? And tonight we'll be speaking on all of that. The opposition are already in the country warming up ahead of the 2027 politics. I have with me the Nnpp Zonal Secretary of the North Central, a gentleman who understands all of these matters very well. Honorable Umar Farouk Adamu Ota, thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Michael, for having me.
Yes, it's always a very big pleasure. A lot of concern. I don't know, you've seen what is happening within political parties. Political parties are having, some are having, a disarray, concern about crisis here, crisis there. What is this signal to our democracy? Because people say, if we want to get this country well, if we get the politics, the politics in the political parties right, that of course eventually they will produce good candidates, and when they produce good candidates, you will now have good leaders emerge at the end of the day for the national development. Are you bothered about all the disarray within political parties?
Well, thank you very much, Michael, for having me again. Honestly speaking, I'm not happy with the situation that is going on in the country regarding the political party you talked about, regarding economy, regarding appointments. No right human being, no right citizen of this country, Nigeria, will be happy with the situation that is at hand right now. The Labour Party is not an exception with what is actually happening too in PDP. You can see how the last discussion we had, when one person, in particular, who is serving in the government and is holding the PDP to ransom. And today the PDP could not even, for an outer a kind of having that zeal to call for a National Executive Council meeting. Anytime it had discussion that meeting will be called, they will cancel it after discussion. This is what is exactly happening in PDP, and is also happening in Labour Party. What has the Supreme Court got to do with what is happening in the political party? The political party itself is also a branch of government in itself, because people rise on political parties' horse to reach where they are in governance. You cannot become anything in government. You cannot get opportunity, you cannot be appointed, or you cannot be elected until you ride on the political party's horse. And today, we are having this problem, all the political party, simply because somebody is working towards saying that this political party did not see the light of the day for an easy ride. This is what we call one-party system that they want to introduce.
It's not good for our democracy.
And which is not good for our democracy. How could it be good?
Is this cancelled by the government? Because some people are saying that these are adults, these are people.
When you see the hands of Paul, you know definitely where it comes from. When you see the hands of Paul,
if you are afraid of opposition, or
they are afraid of opposition, yes.
Opposition gather together.
You know, they say when you come by the sword, you die by the sword. You know, they were lucky. They had a president that time, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who happens to have human face, human feelings, who doesn't want to see crisis-ridden state in Nigeria. You remember, he always says that because of his ambition, a drop of blood of an individual or citizen in this country should not be shedded. This is good luck for you. And the opposition, they mounted on him. The way and manner they criticize Goodluck. You know, all the systemic challenges the Goodluck has, that the opposition challenge, and it gives them the opportunity to ride into the power, you know, is happening now in double. All the ramification. And because they had that zeal of fighting the President Goodluck Jonathan, and at the end of the day, they kick him out of government. Today, They are afraid of what has happened to Goodluck might happen to them. That is why they don't want opposition. And are you not seeing what is happening? The moment an opposition talk and sided the government, tomorrow they will give him appointment. Look at Reno Omokare, how do you call it? Reno Omokare, the former presidential spokesman to Goodluck Jonathan. You see his antecedents, you know, he always talk about, and mind you, prior to 2003 election, success of the election, Reno Omokare was in the forefront of castigating the present president, you know, to the extent he went to Chicago to check whether the president has certificate or not. Today, he's the one, you know, love, you know, discussing, talking about president, what the president is doing is good and so on and so forth. Today is a nominee of ambassadorial appointment. He has even gone to screening. Reno Omokare. So, what about Boala? A very critical critics to President Tinubu. Today, he has an appointment as a spokesperson. That's what he said, but nobody hears him speak now, because there are some people who are greater than him there. They just brought him and put him in the pocket, and he doesn't talk again. This is how Nigerian politics is. So how do you expect opposition to be strong with this kind of people around?
I mean, if you look at this presidency, people have been speaking, and Duma recently raised questions about appointment. But some will even take you to former President Muhammadu Buhari. He appointed even more Northerners into key positions. So some will argue, is President Tinubu not doing what also we had former President Muhammadu Buhari did? Is there a difference? Or if they are coming now to call on President Tinubu over his appointment, did these voices also call on former President Muhammadu Buhari? But what really at the center of this is for national development. How do you feel about this appointment, getting people, I mean, from one section that some person have described into key position in the country?
You see, Michael, you cannot exempt Buhari from doing this appointment of lopsided appointment, because he started it, frankly speaking. And could you remember when he was in Germany, when he became president in 2015, he was in Germany, and they were asking him how his appointment will be. He said that where the vote comes from, much vote comes from, that's where the appointment will lie. And that was the greatest mistake Buhari did in his life. That it happens that all the Southwest people, the South people, they don't accept his government. They looked at him as somebody who is biased, somebody who is practicing nepotism, you know, being sectional, you know, in his government. And the so-called Igbos, you know, were not happy with that statement, and his appointment also reflected that actually. But if you look at Buhari's election, actually, they not actually gave him the vote to win. But the issue was that he could not become president of Nigeria until he was able to garner support from the Southwest. That is where the Yoruba people now came in. That was what made him to become president of Nigeria. Okay, and he got the appointment too. You could remember one minister had 3 ministries: power, works, and housing. He tried his best, but in Tinubu's government, one cannot be adapted. Look at the way and manner in this country. Any position that is vacant, you put Yoruba man there. Any position that becomes vacant, Yoruba man. If he fires anybody, he brings Yoruba man. That is true sectionalism. That is sectionalism, tribalism, and personalism. This is what Tinubu is doing. So if you look at it holistically, you wonder, where is this president heading to? And at the other background, they are discussing second term. How do you expect people that have worked for you, that have given you the majority vote for you to win election?
Who gave them?
The Northern Nigeria. The Northern Nigeria, out of his 8.7 million vote that he got, the Northern Nigeria contributed 5.8 million.
But they will say you have the vice president. They will say, I mean,
what is the vice president doing, Mr. Michael? The vice president, there are a lot of speculations in the social media and the electronic media that the vice president is not functional. They sidelined him. Nobody is even talking about him. There is no functional vice president. Now the president is out of the country for 2 weeks. Who is leading the country? Who is the president? Nobody have seen any written handing over note, either through the National Assembly or through the vice president, that the vice president Shatima should act as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nothing like that. 2 weeks.
The people say it's a ceremonial position, so it might not really have a lot to
Yes, some people even say that she is the vice president, he's just an outlooker.
That's political.
But when this kind of discussion is cropping up much time, and it's
a lot of things goes on at the presidency that are sort of, because we are looking at if this government and President Bola Tinubu who said that he knows, he has bought people, he has a connection, he knows people across board. So people will probably, see him as one who has good relationship with the people. So do you feel that appointing some Southwest presidency into key position is not out of sourcing the best to do the job, is about playing the tribalism?
Well, Mr. Michael, Nigeria has not been like that since the coming in of the democracy in 1999. Nigeria has never been a state where you source for good hands. Never. It is even in the constitution, the federal character. That is what Indomie is talking about now. The federal character must reflect the yearnings of the people, in appointment, in position of government position that you are appointing, in civil service appointment, in anything that has to do with appointment. It has to look at the federal character principles. And as it goes, you look at it very critically that it doesn't reflect the federal character. And why is this so? It is because of this urbanism of the Nigerian system. Some people might say that it is Tinubu'Sism of Nigerian system. No. When you are president from the Southwest, and anything that happens, any vacancy, any opportunity, you bring a Yoruba man in all positions, including status, commissions, extra department of government, everywhere, Yorubas. It's not done anywhere in this country. Others don't have professionals. Others don't have people who have the capacity to move those departments to certain level. What are you talking about? So what about those who are not Yorubas, those who are not Hausas, those who are not Igbos? What about the small language around? What are they getting? Nothing.
Because the presidency is saying that it's just opposition coming out to speak, that this president is not operating that way.
But everybody is seeing it glaringly. It's written in the paper. Everybody sees it. The composition of all these appointments are there in the social media. I think you have seen one yourself. Almost about 74 people appointed by the president, Yorubas. And let me refer you back also to actually what is happening in the economic sector of the country. The economic sector of the country, any position in that economic sector is occupied by Yoruba man. No single language. Single. In Yoruba land, we have the what do you call them? The Ishekiri are also in Yoruba land. We have the Badagri people. They are not Yoruba people. They don't get these positions. So it is Yorubanization of the
West
country.
region.
Exactly. There are other languages who are not Yorubas. Have you ever seen one person being appointed in all these positions? No single person. It is only Yoruba. Why?
Is this thing really sending a message to the north as we speak?
Yes. As a northerner, I had the opportunity to discuss with people. We had contemporary people who are keeping silent, but they are watching events happening. We have them.
Even the North has competent people to do this job. Because some people will argue, as I said earlier, is it by competency to get the job done? Because he swore in the Constitution to protect lives and properties of the country. And every day, like every other day, people and citizens are calling on the president that there's hunger in the country, there is need for this, there is need for that. So
very good.
Getting the job done is a priority for every government.
Very good, Michael. You see that? I've said it, I've discussed this with friends. I said, what Nigerians need is good governance, good leadership. You give us effective leadership, nobody would think whether you are a Hausa man or Yoruba or Igbo man. Nobody. Why would I care if the economy is moving, I'm able to send my children to school. I'm able to go to hospital with my children, with my parents who are old now, that the country cannot provide social security for the age, for the old people, for the senior citizen. You know, why should I care if all transport is moving, communication is moving? You know, why should I care if I can be able to go to market with the little I'm earning, I'm able to get food, you know, and feed my family? Why should I care who rules me? And I will be eager to go for election, to go and cast my vote anytime election comes. But the issue is that when you say you are doing it for good governance, where is the good governance? What is happening today? That you cannot, with fact, do you know that there is nothing 5 naira can buy today in Nigeria? 5 naira cannot buy anything. Nothing. You must complete 100 naira to be able to buy tom-tom, 3 pieces of tom-tom. It's 100 naira. Toothpick is 300 naira. Toothpick that you use in bringing out mucus from your mouth. So why should I care if all these things that I've mentioned are moving successfully? I wouldn't care who rules me. I wouldn't care. But in a situation whereby you are now leader, you are leading the country, everything of yours is being sectional, is being tribalist. You know, you are bringing your people to come and do this thing. I will do everything possible to see that tomorrow too my own get the chance. You know, Buhari had another opportunity. We in the North, we are trying, that he has done nothing to us. You understand? But that is not to say that we have not had, the North has not had its own fare. You know, that is why the North is always loyal. In any system that is organized, that there is an issue of gentleman agreement, the North is always loyal on that. The Northern Nigeria had its own 8 years with Buhari, even though he did not produce anything to the North. We accepted. Okay? When we accepted, even though we were in the opposition, but the generality of the Northern Nigerian voted for Buhari, voted for Tinubu, to become president of Nigeria. That is the reality of the Northern Nigeria.
I was paying back.
Yes, paying back
in 2014, 2015.
Yeah, because there is gentleman agreement and there is payback time. So we wouldn't be seen as hypocrites. We talk today with this mouth and talk tomorrow with another mouth. With the Northern Nigeria is not like that. Once there is an agreement, understanding between me and you, that you will give me this diary, okay, I will use it for certain days. When it comes, I will hand it over to you. Even if I didn't finish, I will hand it over to you.
Well, some people are saying that it wasn't that way, that there was a game plan to kick out President Bola Tinubu.
And where? How did he get the vote? Okay.
He had supported Lawan again.
Which Lawan? Let them come and do the calculation. That was primary election of the party. This is where they wanted to play their games.
Introduction of Naira. They say even the introduction of a Naira node was aware of making it difficult for President.
But Buhari is not the Northern Nigeria now. He is not. It is what the agreement that he entered into with the Southwest, not Tinubu as individual. Because Tinubu at that time, he was representing the Southwest with ACN. Okay? The agreement they entered with Buhari was that we'll give you power. Will help you to secure the power. When you succeeded in securing the power, when it is time, after your 8 years, it will come back to the Southwest. That agreement was there. Najato has spoken about this long with that number, time with that number. Even the former, the governor of Katsina State agrees that there was that gentleman agreement. Everybody said there are a lot of people who spoke about it. You understand? That agreement was there. So Buhari couldn't have tampered on that agreement. He couldn't. Because he's the president, he couldn't. That is where the Northern Nigerian has loyalty, you know. Some people say no, when the agreement was meant, we were there. I was there. So why do you want us to back up now? That's how Northern Nigerian operates.
So, I mean, as you say,
all the game that they played during the primaries, it was his personal game, not the Northern Nigerian. But when he got the ticket, what happened? Peter Obi was there. Kwankwaso was there. What do you call him? Elijah Tukabukar was there. They dropped Atiku aside and voted for Tinubu. Payback time. This is the game. So what are you going to say about it?
So even picking Muslim ticket was an issue in 2023 election. Some person will say,
no, let me tell you that Adibin Tinubu did not pick Muslim ticket. He would have lost. Do you know why? The Northern Nigeria don't look at the Muslim ticket of Tinubu as a person. They don't look at it. Do you understand me? The northern Nigerian masses, they don't look at Tinubu's ticket as a Muslim ticket. Because there are a lot of things that you cannot see it on television that is happening between the people, tribal, the religious, They are all in politics in Nigeria. You cannot deny that fact. Religious is in politics, tribal is in politics, sectionalism is in politics, everything is in politics in Nigeria. And you cannot separate the two. Anytime you say you want to separate the two, you will not succeed. Because this is how the people were built upon. The elite decided to build people in that section, that there must be a religious, sectional, tribal, and so on and so forth in our politics. So what are you going to say? It's there.
So these people that are speaking, Ndume, Presidency have responded to Ndume, said, it's a critics. Former governor of Kaduna, Nasir Rufai, has now said, I'm no more in APC. Even when I was one of the founding members of the party, I'm now in the SDP. The Presidency said, because you lost out from the ministerial appointment and screening, that's why you are now criticizing. So when you look at people that are criticizing or speaking, in one way or the other, it's just for the personal interest. That is how they make us feel. Okay. What matters should have a discussion or that what works for Nigeria.
Okay. You see, I'm going to give it to Alain Ndume. Alain Ndume is a social critic. It's acceptable in all the discussion that is going on in the country. Once Alain Ndume comes out to criticize, you cannot say it's personal because he is in government. And after all, he's also a member of the ruling party. Okay? So what is he looking for? There is nothing. He is speaking the truth. But when you talk about El-Rufai, that it was a personal vendetta, that is accepted. Because that's how El-Rufai is. Anytime he's not here in your system, he criticizes you. If he's in the system, he fights with those critics and feel as if he's going to crush them at any given second. This is how El-Rufai behaves. But Alain Ndume is speaking his mind, is speaking for Nigerians. The truth of the matter is that, Michael, there is hardship in this country. And this hardship, we are escalating it also by giving people the opportunity to think that you don't like them. This is the situation. You don't like them. What about the northern Nigeria dealing with the south, not the southwest, not the southeast. Okay? They are dealing with the north versus south, north versus south. So where are the Igbos in the contemporary appointments? Where are the south in the appointment? No, only Yorubas. So what are you talking about? Okay.
What really works for us in a time like this? Because we understand that if people are making all of those scores, some will said it might be a political motive just to have an agenda for 2027. But for President Tinubu, and those who are believing in him, is that President Tinubu might win this election, or it's practically impossible to unseat President Tinubu at a time like this, even with all of those critics that is coming in. Are you afraid that even with the gathering of the opposition that we have, or the merger or coalition of different political parties, that attempt might not still be successful, looking at the weight of his presidency so far?
Well, you see, it is unfortunate that the president started in this premise, in the sense that it is only his second tenure that he's thinking of, not Nigerians. What Nigerian will be able to cultivate after the 4 years of his first tenure. It's unfortunate that he goes in this manner. But the problem is that we, the masses or the people or the human beings, propose and God dispose. Okay? When people look at it that because Tinubu is so fast, he's a great politician in court, so he is now appointing his closest friends and family and tribals. Who are the enemies?
You mentioned Reno.
Enemies that have now returned to his house.
Okay.
Reno cannot constitute enmity. He cannot constitute being an enemy. Yeah, those are they are not challenged to workers of those elite from the other opposition, and they find it that they are not filling their pocket any longer, so they have to run away. Let me finish discussing the other issue. You see, it's unfortunate that the president started in that manner, Very, very unfortunate that because of that, now the people are saying that he's now reorganizing his people, he's getting more stronger, the resources of the country are in their hands. So therefore, he can bulldoze anybody and win election again. It's a lie. That is God. God is there. And what God can do, no man can predict. But when you come back to the political, human beings interaction and so on and so forth, of course, the opposition, are they serious? Because if you look at the way and manner, the coalition you are talking about, who even called for a coalition? Who? There is no coalition. It is people who are aggrieved in APC that are running away to SDP. The same people. Okay? And some people who felt that Wike has already taken over PDP, that they are also running away, possibly because they have not come back yet. It was just an expectation. They are not back yet. Maybe they will come back to SDP. Okay, let me ask you a question. When El-Rufai was leaving APC, do you know that his own son, his biological son, is a member of House of Representatives in APC? Has he moved to? Tell me no.
He's still an APC member.
He's not moved. He has not moved. Yeah, he's still an APC member. So why are you deceiving? You are returning to, you are leaving a ruling party that you have worked hard to put in government. You know, you are moving, you didn't come out with anybody. No single senator, no single House of Representatives, no state assembly, no senator, no minister, no commissioner, nothing. Why are you deceiving? So definitely APC, when they look at that, say, since he cannot be able, Tinubu can get it alone again. Because if you don't move with people, you will not get it right. Because it is people that make political party grow. APC was not there 20 years ago. APC was not there. It was people that came and gathered with common interests, common understanding, and they formed APC. And it took over power from PDP in 2015. So what are you talking about? When the APC was formed, how many governors moved from PDP? They had already governors already within their folds. You know, ACN governors, Nnpp governors, then PDP 5 governors came and jammed. That's how they got the party, they got the power. So when you do the calculation, you find out that there is nothing to offer. There is nothing to offer. But politicians who knows what politics is, they have to go and sit down and do serious arithmetic and do calculation. And the calculation is that you must be able to concede. You must be able to think critically. If you want to defeat Tinubu in 2017. Otherwise, the sky will be his limit to run again and get the power. But if they are so critical, there are some things they will do. I'm a consultant. If they consult me, I can tell them what they will do. They will change the scenario of the politics of the country. And the moment they change it, everybody's face will look towards that side. And issue of Tinubu is gone.
The issue of hunger will be resolved within, because the government was saying that projecting that things will get better for 2025 and 2026. Do you feel that if that happens, any amount of political calculations or attempts may be able to scuttle the...
You see, when you talk about hunger, do you also observe what is happening with the nature today? There is no rain in Nigeria. So when are we going to start cultivating, planting and thinking of yielding fruit of our labor? When? So God himself is angry with us. Honestly speaking, do you know that in Nigeria, in Abuja, if you have been in Abuja in some years back, you know, rain starts from late February, May, rain has scattered in Abuja. Today, April, only yesterday rain fell in Abuja. Only yesterday. And in Abuja, when the rain is falling, consistently when rain comes today, tomorrow it will come, next tomorrow it will come.
So you don't think that's nature? Anyway.
That is nature. That is God. God is angry with us. Do you know why? Because his people are suffering and leaders are not doing anything.
But it's caused by the former government, because this government will tell you that they inherited a bad economy. So if we're trying to fix the economy and get the economy to work, it might take time.
Why do they contest? You are contesting because you are looking at loopholes of what the other government, the government in power is opening to you. You look at the loopholes and say, if I come, I will be able to correct this section A1, 2, 3, B, and C. And people will look at it and say, yes, we have suffered in this angle. So when we vote for this man, since he has discussed in this manner, let's vote for him, maybe he will come and correct it. You now come and get the power and you are not saying that it is the former government?
This is 16 years.
What are you talking about?
PDP have destroyed our economy, corruption, looting and all of that. So that is the basis of why they are saying that they are taking some decision, like the issues of subsidy removal. You understand that that was a policy that has flung many Nigerians into poverty and very untold hardship. That single decision, subscribed by even PDP, had subscribed to, Atiku Abubakar had subscribed to subsidy removal. Peter Obi of Labour Party had subscribed to subsidy removal. So even the President Tinubu, I don't know of your presidential candidate. In all of that,
our presidential candidate, Dr. Rabi Musa Konkoso, also subscribed to subsidy removal, but he said on the condition that if he looks at it, that it will serve a purpose that will allow the masses to enjoy, he will allow it flow. But if it won't, he will have to check what is actually causing the money given in subsidy and being transversed to other pockets. You know, people would focus. That's how they think. That's how they
this
talk.
presidency have not
But
gathered
this presidency,
the capacity to confront that issue.
they did not. It is one man show. One man show in the sense that when did he ever sit down when he was contesting and had economic team to discuss on the issue of subsidy with people? Everybody will bring his own contribution towards how to deal with it. This is not a small issue. It's not a small business. It's a very big business that can destroy a nation. Okay? This man just came alone one day. On the day of swearing in, you are removing subsidy. That's to say you are not ready. You don't even understand what it means to have subsidy or to remove subsidy by doing that alone. And do you know that that's an impeachable offense also? The National Assembly ought to have done something, even though I know that rubber stamp in the National Assembly. They can't do anything.
They're not working together.
They are working together with the presidency.
When people said if the National Assembly do not have to be like a cat and dog with the executive. So
no, you can't be cat and dog. Okay,
working together.
Look at what is happening today in America. In the American Congress, you know, Donald Trump is talking about tariff and putting tariffs all over the world. You know, the Republicans, about 7 of them said they do not agree. They have to put a law to stop him from doing that. You understand? The Democrats are on the other side. The opposition are reflecting what the Democrats are thinking. This is democracy. Despite the fact they knew that Donald Trump can go to their constituency and cause trouble for them, but they are looking at the nation, the national issue, not an individual or what an individual can succeed in enjoying for his own political character.
We have opposition in the National Assembly. Some will say, do you expect APC, which are the numbers in the National Assembly, to be doing the speaking? What happened to PDP senators? What happened to PDP, House of Reps, Labour Party, Nnpp as well, and all of those opposition voices from the National Assembly? Who are to be blamed?
You see, frankly speaking, everybody is to be blamed. Okay, is Alim Dume an opposition party? He's not.
APC member.
He's an APC man. But because he fights the feelings of Nigerians, he's fighting in this manner. He fights it. So it is character issue. Okay? What I understand with the National Assembly member in Nigeria is that what I will be able to grab. Okay, the PDP you are talking about is Natasha, not PDP. She's PDP. When she had problem with the Senate President, did you see single PDP man supporting her in the National Assembly? They all left her to fight for her own self. So it is self-aggrandizement. Okay? They came from nowhere. They got the opportunity, most especially those senators from Labour Party and Nnpp. They came from nowhere. They least expected they can win election. They had the opportunity and they won. So therefore, grabbing, like one of our senators was giving money to do job for the party, for the ruling party in Kano State, to destabilize the Nnpp. Senator Kawo Somaila, he was giving money. He said it himself. In the budget, they put 90 billion naira for him in the budget so that he would give his own constituency project. You see, they forgot that once you have been elected and you are sworn in the Halo Chamber, you are above your constituency. You have to be seen as representing Nigeria. Any issue that has to do with Nigeria, the moment it's crossing Nigeria, it will reach your constituency. But they don't look at that. They are looking at their personal aggrandizement, and that is what is happening in the National Assembly. We've never had it so bad that the National Assembly can become a real rubber stamp that you can see glaringly with your 2 eyes. The moment they hit the gavel, that is the end. What is Akpabio doing there? What does he know about
a former governor and a former minority leader of the National Assembly.
Of course, what does he know? If he knows his honors, he wouldn't be behaving in this manner. Which manner am I talking about? You know, a senator will stand up and wants to talk, and he will tell him to sit down. You don't know what you are saying. Well, in the National Assembly today, and nothing is happening. Do you know what happened to Chubo Kadibo? Of blessed memory, he used to be my idol. Chubo Kadibo, the moment a senator wants to present a bill or a motion or anything that has to do with national issue, you know, and he realized that he's going towards the criticism of the government, he challenged you and make you to sit down. And tomorrow he will never catch your eyes again. Okay? They now realizes that the guy is using other opportunity also to siphon money. They also have the issue, and they kick him out. This is how democracy works. But here in this National Assembly, nothing will work, oh my brother, nothing.
Is anything working at all in the country?
Nothing is working in the country. Nothing is working.
You feel there is no area that you should be said government is doing well in this area? They are trying, and there are a lot of attempts on this regard.
Master Mike, that's what they said. They always say it in the media that they are doing well. And you are talking to us. We, the citizens of the country, we are here in this country. We are inside in Nigeria. We wear Nigeria like our cloth. And you are telling us we are doing well. In which way?
Has this security gotten better?
Which security?
Compared to before.
Which security? That day before yesterday, they killed 13 people in Katsina. Just recently, 3 days ago, they gathered 250 million naira and paid ransom to a General Siga, a former and a general with status, a former NYC camp director general. Paying money, generous are gathering money to pay money for ransom in Nigeria, and you tell me security is better? What are you talking about? Where is the security? Where is the economy? Don't you go to market, Mr. Michael? Don't you go to market? Do you know how much they are selling tomato today?
So, because in all of this, we're trying to get, if government are a step for, this is by May 29, that will make them exactly the 2 years in office. So some persons are really bothered about a concern of a midterm judgment. Under midterm, halfway into 4-year tenure, how can we describe, the current state of this government? Because in all of those calculations and what government are also saying, I know you've also been getting feedback from what they have said. They said from the savings of the subsidy, they have increased allocation to states. Should we, and are we paying attention to what the states are doing with the resources that have also been, increased?
You see, I don't believe in this arrangement or this narration. I don't believe in it. And I cannot also agree that 37 gentlemen will be cowards not to react to this kind of shenanigans discussion. That was it agreed that once you remove subsidy, you will not collect the money and share it to the governors? Is that the agreement? If it is not, or if it is, then 37 people as governors of the Federal Republic cannot be arrogant. They cannot be cowards to keep quiet silently without reacting. And if it is yes, the agreement was that they collected the subsidy money and share it to the governors, and those 37 gentlemen kept quiet, then they are arrogant, they are stupid. Why do I say so? Is that we, the masses of this country, when you remove subsidy, it is agreed that the removal of subsidy will make government to gather much more money to also face other critical areas of governance, critical areas that will give people succor into the government. That is, but do you know that the only thing that this government does is palliative, both the federal and the state government. All they do is palliative. Share rice. Critical infrastructures, critical issues that crumpled the economy of Nigeria is not first directly, is not dealt with. The tools of economic analysis were never been discussed in this country, where generality of the people who felt the impact of all this economic discourse. It has never happened since 2 years of Tinubu into governance. And let me remind you, the greatest philosopher, Socrates, says that once you give somebody power, an individual, you give him power, and if he didn't perform in 2 years of his tenure, he will never perform again. You give him 20 years, he will never perform. You remember I said this last in my discussion here. Look at it critically. In America, why they are bringing this midterm election is that they want to test run what the president do, to test the water. What have you done in the 2 years you have collected power? And the moment they realize that you have failed, out of 7 items and you fail 3, you are gone. Once election came in the circle, the next 4 years, they will kick you out. They will refuse to give you assembly, both the House of Representatives and the Senate. That is what is happening in successive democracy. You look at British democracy, it's the same. Labour mess up, they kicked them for 13 years. Now, the Conservative now mess up, they kick them also. So this is how it goes. But in Nigeria, you know, last week I had the former Minister of Labour, and President Senator representing Plateau State, Senator Simon Lalong, saying that Tinubu is supposed to get second time because he has done good to Nigeria, while his people are there dying. You know, tribal sentiment, religious sentiment, they are killing themselves in Plateau State. You heard about it? It's there in the news. And he's here talking about government of Tinubu should continue in 2027. What are we talking about? We have taken the lives of people as nothing.
So what should be their concern as we begin to wrap up? Because in all of this, there should be a kind of conversation that opposition should rather have, ruling party should rather have, individuals that means well for this country to rather have before we talk of the next election.
You see, Michael, this so-called opposition that you are talking about and the people in government, they are all the same. It's either you enjoy here, you stay. If you don't enjoy, you run away from the other side. But in the contrary, what can Nigerians do? It is the same people that are circling within the system. What can we do? We have to look for the better.
The best
the little better, a bit, not the best. You will never get the best. The better out of the...
We have some good politicians.
I'm a politician, but I've not seen that. And I'm not here to blow trumpet for an individual here. You know, I'm talking about Nigeria now. Very critical. When it comes to political party discussion, I'll blow trumpet to my own leadership of my party and my party itself. But the truth of the matter is that they are all the same, circling within the political parties. The political parties are just there, you know, sleeping, lying dog. The moment they knock the door, they open, they enter. No restriction, no critical understanding. Okay, can you be able to tell me, or can they, I challenge them, come here and sit before me, and tell me what they have discussed on a critical issue that will bring out Nigeria from this mad quagmire, in terms of how the political party itself will run, you know, how you are going to select people that will contest election. You know, these are the problem of the political party. This is why you get people running away from this party to the other party. Some places they do the right thing, some places they don't do the right thing. You know, trampling upon the right of the people, you know, refusing to allow the good candidate to pick up tickets, you know, refusing to also itself allow the primary to run successfully. They don't do that. These are the same people. But when you look at them, within the people, all of them, the circle, then you can be able to get a little bit better of them and say, okay, let's use this one. Maybe they will take us to another level, so that it goes on. You know, the youth that are saying that we want to capture power, want to get it, you can't get it when the head of the fish is rotting. The body is also rotting. So what the youth are expected to do is that they have to be critical in watching the leaders and see who is even better. Not the best, because you will never get the best. Because all what they are after is their pocket first, their family pocket, their tribal pocket, their religion pocket, their sectional pocket, and that's what Nigeria let Nigeria go and die.
But this country must work.
We hope so. That's why I told you that man proposed and God disposed. That is God. That is God.
Umar Farouk Adamo is an Nnpp Zonal Secretary of the North Central. Thanks so much. It's always a pleasure having you. I will wish and always wish that people always have this kind of a mindset towards Nigeria for our dreams to get to work. Thanks so much for your thoughts.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Always. Everyone, this is the only country that we have a discussion, a concern about how the country can get better is still a top priority for those in the government, from the federal government to the state government and to the local government. All hands must be on deck to driving development. Our institutions must be protected, must be stronger. People must begin to find and make meaning out of dividends of democracy as expected. Well, this is where we leave it tonight on the show. My name is Nnpp Michael. Thanks so much for joining us. We do hope to see you again. Join us tomorrow for another edition of the program. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Michael. God bless you.